The more you put into your brand account in the beginning, the more debt you can, accrue very, very quickly. As designers, we are kind of subject to like falling into that trap of big systems that have really solid logic all the way through. And you could trace back the logic all the way through. And to capture something like brand, which is inherently an abstract thing, and create logic and a system around it, it's real work and it's enjoyable. I get that. But I think sometimes what we forget is like abstracting ourselves from just design and like, this is a business, right? And design serves a function within business. It's doing a certain job, or it's got a role up to a certain point. Yeah, I think that's kind of where the focus needs to be, rather than the end state. We need a full bulletproof design system.
And also it's like, you think about the company Genesis. It's a new company. We want to tell people what you're all about is going to change very often in your first couple years of life. If you just acknowledge that up front, then there suddenly is no reason to try to make the most ultimate design system ever concocted, because your actual priorities may change. What you're actually building and working on may change. As a matter of fact, when we were talking about the rebrand for Opacity and we were exploring colors quite a bit, we ultimately decided, we don't really know yet. Let's just rock with like 2 colors. And then we can figure out, that stuff later on. Like scoping, just like software, where there's this idea of feature creep, where you come up with all these ideas and you're like, ooh, we need that. We need to build that. We need to build that. We need to build that. And then the time it takes to launch this thing just expands and expands and expands. And so you want to like cut feature creep, and then you iterate and you build out those things after it's in market. Because when you do add things like, okay, let's figure out a color palette, and you get out, 4 to 8 colors, and you're like, sweet, let's make some gradients with this. Let's figure out how we use these colors. Then you're in this mode where it's like, okay, we have these colors. How are we going to use these colors? When should we use this one versus that one? You then are going to spend a lot of time figuring out how to incorporate color into this brand. I mean, imagine if you were so wild as to say, well, we also need a custom font. And you're going to go make a custom font. Like, that's a huge feature creep. The rest of the brand has to wait on a freaking font to get kerned before you can actually roll it out.
What do we call this? It's not like a half-baked design. It's not a half-baked brand. It's not like a, what do we call this thing?
It's a minimum viable design.
Oh, minimum viable brands, MVB.
Hey, that's even better.
Yeah, that's
it's an MVB. No, it's a new idea. It is exactly 1 hour old. I think the minimum viable brand idea doesn't mean that you're launching a piece of crap. It means you're launching something that's good enough, but reduced in features.
I think product designers, engineers, very, very familiar with the terms, design debt, engineering debt, the brand debt too. And you can, the more you put into your brand account in the beginning, the more debt you can, accrue very, very quickly.
It's a wrap, but it's not a wrap on the brand, because that's a minimum viable brand. It's going to be changing over time.